Welcome, welcome, everybody. I'm so excited you are here with me today. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you outside of San Francisco in Northern California. I saw that some of you are starting to notice that the weather is changing if you are in that area. My little dog, the leaves were starting to fall down when he was walking today, and I don't think he remembers that part and kind of freaked him out. And then Dawn from Tonball. I used to do drama competitions there in high school. I'm from Angleton, Texas. So a lot of people don't know where that is. Maybe you do. Well, I'm so glad to be here with Malika today. And oh, Dawn, good. I'm snug. She's giving you a wave there. And we have a very peaceful social. If you are thinking it's Wednesday, I hear you. I went to Denver for 2 nights, and I actually got to meet with why did I just blank? Maya, there we go. I got to meet with Maya in person. It's the very first time we've met in person. So now I've met Maya in person, and now I've met Malika and Meha in person. So, we've worked together for a couple of years, but it's so exciting when we get to see everybody there. And then I got to spend some time in Southern California. So I'm with you if your week feels a little bit off. Is there anyone that this is their very first social? If it is, just go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. It was awesome, Nona, that I got to meet her. And actually, I need to post a photo of us together. Alyssa, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. Mirna, welcome. Alyssa, I know that Malika can throw that link in there. Marcy, thank you. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the hashtag Sonder fam. So this is a cameras off event for everyone, for myself. So that's the good part for you if you are in your pajamas drinking a martini, and there's no judgment on my part if you are. If you are like me, no martini tonight, but I did infuse some water with some basil and frozen raspberries. And I'm setting my peaceful scene up with a Trader Joe's candle. I love setting the scene to be able to kind of get it. Oh, a Sauvignon Blanc. Not going to complain about that. I do love a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. The one thing that you definitely want to do is make sure your chat is set to everyone. You're going to see here in the bottom, there's a little blue pull down. That's the way everyone is able to communicate. So if a lot of times, if you're on an iPad or an iPhone, you may change it and then it will revert back. So there you go. Oh man, everybody's having a little cocktail on their Tuesday afternoon. That's okay. I saw some peppermint tea to join me. Blackberry bubble sweet tea candle. That's amazing. Hard kombucha. Wow. Ice salted caramel pumpkin brulee chai. That sounds so good. Shirley Temple. All right. Lemon balm tea. I love seeing it. I love teas. And I do love a good glass of wine or hard kombucha too. So let's go ahead and dig in. We are just getting started, Heather, so no worries at all. Carolyn, a bowl of melting ice cream totally counts. Definitely. Absolutely. And people have gotten their candles lit as well. Lavender eucalyptus. That sounds pretty darn awesome. So our community guidelines, for those of you who are new, be kind and courteous to yourself as well as others. Some of these, not tonight so much, but you never know. Sometimes something's going to hit weird with you and the tears start to fall, and that's okay. It can be very cathartic. No one can see you unless you're in a coffee shop. So if that happens, let it fall. It's fine. But be courteous to yourself and others. So if something doesn't hit right with you at this social or at any social, it is okay for you not to work on that prompt at that time period. There is no one watching you. No one is grading you. I've never completed every single page in my journal ever. And I was telling Malika that this is absolutely the very first month that I have not filled out my monthly spread. I've been using my journal. It's covered in all kinds of stuff, just not that section. And so sometimes life looks a little different and you roll with the punches. But always make sure that you are kind and courteous to yourself as well as others. No promotions or spam. I'm so proud of you and all the things that you are doing in life, and share it, but not in the social and Sonder Club. No hate speech or bullying. That's a given. Limit repetitive product and accessory questions. Malika and I don't work for headquarters. So unfortunately, if your journal is missing or something along those, we can't help you, but hello@silkandsonder.com can. And remember, Sonder Socials are a tool to help you elevate your emotional health through the power of community but you are responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. All right. And yes, I saw someone that they have asthma and they have a hard time with candles. I have to be careful. The Trader Joe ones, some of them are too strong, but this peach black tea one, I'm really digging. I bought some of the apple and pumpkin, but I'm waiting for it to feel a little more fall-like before I dig in. I also bought the body scrub and lotion. I cannot wait. This month's theme is flourish. I have been loving it. It is just hitting very right for me right now. Those of you who've been with me for a while know that I am becoming a entrepreneur and I have quit my full-time job and am working on creating my own Pilates studio. So, I am doing my very best to flourish the best I can. So I'm hoping that this theme is resonating with you too. So tonight's agenda, we got 3 activities. Oh, I'm so glad that, thank you, Mandy. Oh, Nona, thank you. Yeah. So we have our flourish activity. I get so distracted. I love reading and being able to communicate with you guys. Our gratitude jar, and then our noticing nature. Now, I will give you a heads up. The noticing nature, if you haven't taken a peek at it, is to find some moss. Well, in Northern California, where I am right now, there is not any moss. So I have included some beautiful pictures that you may choose to use, but if you have the ability to fill out the pages on your cell phone because you're streaming that way in an area that you can find moss, that would be an absolutely perfect thing to do. But yeah, what can I say? I don't have moss. So our very first activity is our flourishing activity. You will not find this in your journal. So if you're with us for the very first time and don't have a journal, this absolutely can be done on a separate sheet of paper. You will only find this at this social, and this social is only being offered one time a month. So you can do this on a blank notes page. You can use the scratch pad if that works, your thoughts journal, sticky notes, anything that you like to repurpose, you can totally use it. So ultimately, I'm going to play some beautiful instrumental music while I have you think about the following blanks. To me, flourishing is when I encourage growth in the world around me by. I'm grateful for all my growth so far because. And one thing about myself I would like to see flourish is. So I'll go ahead and share with you how I feel like I flourish. To me, flourishing is when I'm around supportive women lifting each other up. That's why, though I do teach men in fitness classes, I have 2 elderly gentlemen who come to my aqua class every Monday, and I absolutely adore them. But I really love the woman tribe lifting each other up. Don't care if you identify male, female, or anything indifferent. There's something about that femininity. I encourage growth in the world around me by being a facilitator, by learning to be a health coach, to being the best fitness instructor for Pilates and otherwise that I can possibly be. I am grateful for all my growth so far because it has allowed me to touch the other lives of others. I started out, a lot of you know my story. I was in college and it was 1999, which is dating myself some, but I got a phone call that my dad died of a heart attack. And that day, my mom was supposed to start chemotherapy. I was in the middle of my master's degree in my very first classroom full of 5th graders. And though it was a very hard time, I do know that that experience has allowed me to work with children in a way that if I hadn't had that experience, I never would have. And I hope that I can take that through the coaching that I do, through the teaching that I do. One thing about myself I would like to see flourish is my new business that's starting, right? So that's mine. So I will go off camera. I'm going to play some beautiful instrumental nature music and give you some solid amount of time to kind of think about this. Now, remember, if this does not resonate with you or this feels too much for you at this moment, listen to the music, turn to your coloring page. Maybe when you take a walk or you're in the shower, the perfect answer will come to you. Okay, I'm going off camera and I'm going to play some music for you. And please engage as much as you feel comfortable in the chat. Hopefully all the kitties are happy listening to their little Tweety birds in there. Thank you so much for all of you who shared your celebrations and the things that you're struggling with, from health to things that you want to change about yourself. And I think it was Brenda who said, I'm grateful for all my growth so far because it makes me who I am. I wouldn't wish illness, abuse, or divorce on my worst enemy, but here I am thriving. Brenda, you really truly are inspiration. It's been such a pleasure to watch your journey. Those of you who've been coming for a while and are active in the chat, please know that we are, as facilitators, very invested in your stories. There's quite a few: Angela, Nona, Steph, I mean, Paula, a lot of you guys, we love it. So we're so glad that you were here. Okay, so this is the really feel good time. We're turning to page 13, and this is a gratitude jar. Now, there's two ways you can approach this. We have something like this pretty frequent in our journals, and you could definitely take this as one thing a day that you're grateful for and put it on there. Or like today, we're going to spend some time filling it out. And gratitude is one of the best ways to give yourself a mental pick-me-up, for sure. There is a social from last month and March for one of the weekly setups that Jen K shared with us, and I think it was on gratitude. And the science behind it was that if you identify what you're grateful for, your part in it, and a word, and there were certain words, and I wish I could tell you what they are off the top of my head. I can't. I could, during the song, I could go back and find it and type it into the chat. But scientifically, that doing it for like a week literally boost your happiness for like 6 months. No, it wasn't core value stuff. It was one, because Jen K works with doctors on their mental health, and it was in there. So sure, what, you didn't believe it? Crystal, is it working for you? Do you happen to remember the words? If not, I'll go grab them and type them in. Oh, Mandy, you guys are the best. Positive emotions, right? So you like, what are you grateful for? What is your purpose and what is your role in it? And the emotion that I felt. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. So I'm going to share you with share mine. Mine's nothing fancy at all. Snickers, Mandy, you got it. Thank you so much. If you haven't seen this, take a screenshot of it so that you can see Mandy's words of all of the feelings, because scientifically using those specific words, identifying those words are when they found your happiness spike. I'm very grateful for Jen K sharing it with me. She even did a separate call on a Sunday afternoon just to make sure I understood it to present it. So I love that. But for me, for my gratitude, Snickers is my chihuahua. Matt is my husband. I'm thankful for my house. I grew up, I wasn't poor, but I didn't grow up with a lot. And I never would think that I would be able to afford a full house. And I'm not going to lie, it's tiny. Malacasina, it's not huge, but a house in the Bay Area, period. Wendy is my business partner. A new car, which may literally be arriving as we are working together tonight. My husband went to go pick up a new Bronco that we can take off-roading. Time away, like I said, I went away this weekend. Megan is the person who introduced me to Pilates. Roberta is my mother-in-law and one of my very closest friends. California weather. Those of you who live in Texas know why I really am thankful for California weather. I'm really loving the Bronco, and it was a 9-month waiting list. So we're glad we could find one with the strike that we could get our hands on. Outdoors and healthy food. Those are the things that I'm absolutely loving. Now, this one is an empowerment jar, but I wanted to show you an example of a way that you could do it with stickers and pictures. So I pulled out all my stickers, I laid them out, and I just went crazy. And then I used my little Kodak Zinc for the girl that's on the reformer with her leg in the ring over here on the left-hand side. Empowerment I printed out, and the smoothies I printed out. The rest are just stickers. So that's a way that you could look at it too. Malika was kind enough to share these examples that she has pulled from Sonder Club. So you can see all different ways that people have done it. Little fireflies, so cute. Or maybe it is writing in sentences or words or bubbles, or however it is that I know. There's some really pretty ones. I like the geometric one a lot. I'm not sure what it is that attracts me so much to that, but it is. And look over there on the right where they put the little stickers on it. So there's no right or wrong way. Oh, Brenda, we always are using your examples, aren't we? They're always so good. Thank you for posting in Sonder Club. Those of you who are new, that's where we get our examples from. So we absolutely adore if you post them so that we can use these examples in future socials. Now, if you are stuck for ideas, Malika also was kind enough to share this awesome list of ways to kind of get your brain going. So I'm going to go back off camera and give you some time to work and let us know what you are grateful for. You're giving me all the feels and it keeps coming. If you have not been able to stop and see the chat, it has been pretty special and pretty amazing with what you are grateful for and the perspective you have. And yeah, the positivity, oh, it's just amazing. That's what I mean. This is why I do what I do. And I don't just mean Silk and Saunders, but this is the kind of community I just love to be a part of and flourish in. I want to say thank you so much for all of you being so incredibly vulnerable, from assault to injuries and war to, health wins like cholesterol levels and saving that little pigeon. I have a little story. This one I've never shared before, but when I was 5, it was right before a hurricane hit in Texas, and we found a cockatiel. And I wasn't allowed to name this cockatiel because we were supposed to find its owners. Well, we never did. And Bird lived with us for 16 years, and he is the only bird that I know that was under oxygen at least 7 times. So, loved seeing those stories. And I don't know if anyone else needed the tissues on this one, but I definitely did. The next section we are going to dig into is page 19. As I mentioned, I did not have any moss to be able to do this with, so I am sharing 2 different examples. The one on the left that is messy with just like not necessarily the cutest drawings in the world are mine. And the really pretty writing and the nice dahlia that is gorgeous on the right-hand side is Malika's from a past journal. But I wanted to give you some examples of what it is that it looks like. Now, I'm going to break this down into much smaller chunks for you guys to be able to work on it. So we are going to take each of the top questions separately. So you're going to have plenty of time. And then that chunk where the boxes are at the bottom is going to be a separate section. We got plenty of time. So I'm going to put the first slide up. And like I said, if you don't have moss, you can describe the moss that is on the screen. If that doesn't work for you, look out the window and choose something that is outside, that is in nature, or your favorite house plant, or shoot, open up an orange and check out those seeds, or an apple. Like, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Not all of us have moss. So, just go with it. So I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to play, the first couple of songs are going to be 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll give you a longer chunk for the second bigger portion. I got so absorbed in the chat reading, I almost didn't stop the music. I think it was Pamela who mentioned that moss is how it follows the contours of what's growing, what it's growing on. It doesn't compete or fight against it. It flows. And Lori talked about the moss in its own little tiny forest, like Horton Hears a Hue, a little micro universe. It's lush, but there are other little things growing as well. There's diversity contained in it. These are beautiful. See why I got like totally distracted? It grows where sometimes in the tough areas. I remember when I was in college, I looked where the air conditioning leaked and there was some moss. And if you're from Texas, I'm from Texas State. I have one degree that says Southwest Texas and one that says Texas State. But we didn't have a lot of moss. And so I cut it all up and I got a tray from the dollar store and I got some rocks and I laid it all out. And then I went to Michael's or Hobby Lobby, wherever it was, and I got little gnomes from a cake decorating kit and I made my own moss garden. And this is really inspiring me to want to try to do that again. It was so fun. But it was also the first time I'd ever seen or touched moss because I grew up on the coast in Texas. We didn't have any. So our next question you're digging into is while you explore, what sounds do you hear? And you can be as like creative with this as you want. It doesn't have to be literal. Okay, and Sarah, you're absolutely right. The whole track was called White Sound Sensations Tropical. So right on. The next question we're digging into is take a deep breath. How does the air smell today? Now, hopefully for you, it is not smoky where you are. I know that we were pretty smoky last week, but I'm hoping you smell like fresh, clean rain or the warm sun and not any of that forest fires. Okay, so I'm going to let you describe your smells, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so our last section that we're going to dig into is the big boxes at the bottom. So you have your drawing, and remember what mine looked like, so you don't need to think it has to be artistic. What do you like about the moss? How does the moss look? what color is the moths? And to me, this makes me think of is when you're having a panic attack. And I don't know if you guys have ever had any, but I definitely have. And you like do the five of like five things you can touch or see, and you go through it that way. So maybe if you had a hard day today and you're having a hard time focusing, that hyper focusing on this is going to bring you some peace with this calming music. So I'm going to let you guys work, and we're going to listen to some tranquil, breezy morning. I hate having to cut the music off like that, but I want to make sure we have time to wrap up today. I really like the look of moss, and actually the Pilates studio I was in that I recently left, they actually did a dried moss wall, and it was basically like a picture frame, and then she was able to put different colors in it, and the studio's been open 3 years, and it still looks really nice. So if you're digging that, that might be a fun, like, weekend project. Get a little tray and get it all cute. Oh, please do share your pages. There's nothing we like more than logging in and seeing what you created with our time together. I know you know what yours looks like, but I have no idea. And it really does make our day, and it inspires others in Sonder Club to fill out their pages. Maybe you have an interpretation that they've never thought of before, and you inspire them to be able to fill those pages out. We still have that refer a friend to Silk and Sonder, and we're still running that upgrade your annual subscription and save $110 a year. Now, I know not everybody can afford to do that at one moment, but if you can, you just save some money. And then, keep checking into the app. There's a lot of new surprises coming along as well as in our Sonder club. And then we will also put that YouTube link in the chat. I know, this went really fast. I'm going to throw the playlist into the chat for you guys. And I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful evening. It has been an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. And it was really nice and relaxing and so vulnerable. And I so appreciate you being willing to share part of yourself with everyone in the group. And I know that's not an easy thing to do. And so many of you really did get very vulnerable. All right, I will see you guys next time. I know that I am basically working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe not Sunday, and Monday morning. So I will be seeing you guys as we set up our new month and our week. Have a great rest of your week.
Trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself,